Welcome to the Gleeful Meeple, a podcast all about board games where strategy meets laughter and every farm reminds you that you're playing a Euro game. In this episode, we catch JK yelling at clouds again as he surprises us with a contentious, cataclysmic conversation. France calls us back to construct buildings, create farms, mine for silver, go sailing, and of course, build castles. In this week's game of the show, Castles of Burgundy. And you, the Gleeples, get to play along as the hosts get put in the hot seat with this week's game challenge. So roll your dice, mitigate that luck, and turn misfortune into success as you expand your duchy in the hopes to have the most, well, let's be real here, points, points, points. It's all about that point salad. Give me all the points. Welcome back to the table, everybody.
Hello, it's Emily.
Hi, Dwayne is here.
Hi, I'm JK, and I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
You a big dill?
Yeah. That'll pay off later. We'll come back to it.
And I'm James. Welcome back, everybody. Guys, no surprise. Let's get this kicked off right.
Do you have a riddle?
I have a riddle. I'm going to get your brains working right away. In a circle, secrets hide. Petals, blooms, and danger bide. A test of nerve, a wager's call. Who will rise and who will fall? I am a game of risk and wits, where bluffing and deceit both sit. Raise the stakes, but tread with care, for hidden traps lurk everywhere. Risk too much, you're bound to lose. Pick with care, be shrewd and choose. Read the players, trust your gut. Can you make the final cut?
I'm going to start with ink and gold.
No.
There was a lot of plant references in there, so I'm going to throw out verdant.
No.
Oh?
I don't know any.
No?
So plants and like press your luck is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I don't know anything that combines
But
those
also
two.
bluffing.
You are both on the right track. JK went on the wrong tangent.
Oh.
Okay.
I do have one more. I have one
I went
more
down,
line.
I went down the wrong stem.
I have one more line I can give you that might point you in a good solid direction.
Okay.
That might help you a little bit.
I'll take it.
4 are safe, but one's a snare. Can you sense what's truly there? Am I actually stumping you guys on this one?
I think you
Yeah.
might be. My only other guess, before you said that, my other guess was going to be coup, but those numbers don't align with coup.
I can say it again if it's worth it.
Yeah, let's go through it one more time.
All right, I'll go through it one more time, just in case anybody who's listening might also need a refresher here. In a circle, that's important.
Yeah.
Secrets hide. Petals, blooms, and danger bide. That does also matter. A test of nerve, a wager's call. Who will rise and who will fall? I'm a game of risk and wits, where bluffing and deceit both sit. Raise the stakes, but tread with care. Hidden traps lurk everywhere. Risk too much, you're bound to lose. Pick with care. Pick with care. Be shrewd and choose. Read the players. Trust your gut, maybe not. Can you make the final cut? 4 are safe, but one's a snare. Can you sense what's truly there? Apparently not. Apparently the sixth senses, the board game senses, are not triggering on this one.
I don't think this is it, but I'm going to guess Betrayal at House on the Hill.
No.
I think I got to tap
It is a simple game.
Yeah.
You've all played it.
That was
Duck, duck, goose.
no.
It does involve flowers and circles.
Oh my word.
I know.
Skulls?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my word.
Well done, Emily.
I just played that 2 days ago too.
I finally got one that stumped you guys. I was trying to go out of the box on this one.
No, and that's what those last 2 lines really should have done it in. Like, you start off with 4 coasters. One is a skull. Can you sense what's flipped over?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really
you're-
good.
That was a
great.
that was a great
I like it a
riddle.
lot.
Well, guys, we had a pretty exciting recent weekend.
Boy, and how.
It was hot.
What?
Wet and
No,
gassy.
oh, come on.
Yes,
Yes, just like Mars.
We had our recent Memorial Day picnic for Gleeful Meeple.
Yeah, we did. Dwayne got to man the grill.
For a hot minute. Everyone was like, thanks for being grill master.
A hot minute, Dwayne.
Thank you. I came up to cook burgers to give the grill master who was there. Big shout out to Jeff Jarvis for taking care of the grill for the majority of the time. I stepped in for 5 minutes and everyone's like, "Thank you so much for doing this." I'm like, "Absolutely not. I do not deserve any of these
It was an
accolades."
important 5 minutes because I very much enjoyed that burger.
All right, good deal.
I came over and found a lot of very dark colored brats being cooked.
Yeah, I did not realize he just propane and charcoal grills both have their pros and their cons, but at least with propane you can control the heat very quickly. Whereas I didn't realize Jeff had just dumped new coals on, and so I was cooking these brats over like a white hot flame.
Oh, no.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think we ended up having 100-ish people.
Oh my God, we saw
Something like
so
that.
many
So many.
people. What a great event. Thank you to everyone who came out. Thank you to everyone who helped host and put this together. It was a big effort on the part of several of our regular members.
Yeah,
And,
those who showed up
we made it
early
happen.
stayed late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I got there around 11, and I think I was there in total for about 5.5 hours. It was a long day. It was hot.
Yeah. Lots of fun yard games happening, tons of food, board games. It's outdoors, but it's under a pavilion. So lots of games going on still. Thankfully, it wasn't super windy, so people
And it
were,
wasn't overly hot either.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Really got lucky on the weather.
cicadas were nice and quieted down for us.
Mm-hmm.
We had a Hot Ones hot sauce station. So if you're familiar with Hot Ones, it's a interview show on YouTube where they take celebrities and just music artists, people who have something to promote, generally speaking. And when they have something to promote, they go on their media tour. They go on the late night talk shows and all those stops. And Hot Ones is one of those stops. They'll go on and get interviewed, and they have to. They eat hot wings from low levels of heat up to high levels of heat while they're being interviewed by this host. Fantastic show if you've never watched it before. But they sell that hot sauce set. So I purchased one.
I noticed on your set, I wasn't there for the picnic, but I noticed it doesn't have Da Bomb on it.
It does.
Do they?
It does, but it's different.
Okay.
So there's one particular hot sauce the show is known for being absolutely terrible.
If you've never had it, it's awful. It is an awful sauce. Yeah.
But the hot sauce store that Hot Ones partners with to sell these hot sauce sets, that particular store does not sell any hot sauces with artificial heat. Which the Bomb, the original one, does have artificial heat inside of it. So they partnered with the makers of Da Bomb to make another version.
Okay.
That is
that's
all naturally
interesting.
heat.
Is that Heatonist? Is that where you get
That's
them
right.
from? Yeah.
Yep. Heatonist.com. But anyways, I had the whole table set up with the levels of heat, and we had a whole group surrounded. Dwayne, we went through that together.
We did.
It was hot.
James and I are known for very stupidly putting extremely hot things in our mouths together. So
it's a habit of ours.
Was this not as painful as the Pocky Chip Challenge?
It was not.
I don't think so because we also had crackers with it. I had crackers with my hot sauce. Some of them, some people just used spoons.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and took spoonfuls of this stuff.
Ooh.
That was
Oh,
props
thank
to you
you.
guys.
Yeah.
Mark and Mitch, I think, were taking spoonfuls of it. Whew,
Jeez.
that is just that's next level.
Do you remember which level the bomb was?
It's third from the top.
Okay, because I remember the last one not feeling as hot. Like I think my tongue just decided to give up
At a
somewhere
certain
along the
point,
way. And
yeah.
the last one really did not seem as extreme as one of those near the end, and that was probably that one.
Yeah. Well, just so you know, there's plenty of hot sauce left, so it's in my fridge, and it will be coming back out to social events at some point in the
Fantastic,
future.
fantastic.
That's what I love about events like the Memorial Day picnic is just like so many other activities. Like we had people playing games on the tables inside the pavilion. We had lawn games out. I think I saw some ladder ball, some cornhole. Dwayne, you brought an interesting game out.
I did bring an interesting game out, and that game was Fun Facts.
No.
Oh, Cube?
The lawn game?
Cube.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cube.
Cube. We had a little Cube.
Yes. Viking chess.
So Cube has been making appearances at our Memorial Day picnics for a few years now. I had the chance to play it at another one of our outdoor events, and as I was playing it, I immediately found myself on Amazon ordering my own set because it is a great dexterity game, lots of fun. You're basically throwing big wooden rods at smaller wooden cubes to knock them down. There's some varying rules that go along with that, but James and my wife Brooke and I played. We had some more people joining us. It was nice.
Yeah, shout out to Naresh for joining Brooke and I on our team and helping bring us the victory.
Oh man, that game turned pretty quickly on me.
But speaking of shout outs, you had somebody in mind, Emily, you wanted to shout out.
Yeah, we had someone come to our Jackalope event in April. He was traveling through Nashville. I think he saw the eclipse in southern Illinois and then just rounded out the road trip, went a little bit more south. And that is Matthew, and he is known on the internet in various places by the name Chaotican Writer. So just wanted to shout out him. We loved getting to meet you at Jackalope. Thanks for writing about us on your Substack.
Yeah, and lastly, a quick thing to mention before we jump into whatever it is that JK's mad about. Guys, we're 2 months out from Gen Con, so just going to drop out the 2-month countdown clock, and maybe we'll come back around to that in a future episode.
Oh, I would love to talk about just the excitement of preparing for Gen Con. We might have to have several Gen Con episodes, or at least little breadcrumbs of
We're
Gen
doing
Con
at
along
least
the way.
2.
At least 2. That's
Yep.
what we're committed to.
Nice.
All right.
Well, James, Emily, Dwayne,
JK.
we've already talked about the fact that when I play my games, I have an enjoyment for the tactile feel of things,
Yes.
the weight of the games, the quality of the components. And one of the things I enjoy most about buying a game, whether it's going out to my local game store or whether it's getting something off of Amazon or Game Nerds or any other online site, is when that game is at home and I can tear the shrink wrap off it. And I reach in and I grab all those punch boards and the components, and I spend the next half hour or an hour gradually punching through the cardboard and getting all the pieces sorted out, nice and organized. And then I go to put them back in the organizer, and there's no organizer in this game.
Uh-oh.
It's an empty box.
Oh.
Nothing gets under my skin more than that empty feeling, that unfulfilling feeling of what am I going to do with this stuff now?
Put them in 10 bags and then have them
and that's
rustled
where
all around.
that's
the
where
box.
it gets worse, because now these game companies are throwing like 4 flimsy bags in the box, and you've got like 16 different components to sort. So now you're trying to figure out what families get to go together in the little baggies. Oh, not having an organizer, guys. It's not that expensive. We're already paying $50, $60 for your big box game. Throw on another $5 to give me something that's going to keep everything nice and neat and organized and held inside. And you know what makes me even madder?
Go on.
It's not just the empty box. It's when the companies go through and they hire somebody from their art team to come up with a nice picture that they can put on this piece of cardboard that they fold 3 times. So you get this little canyon down the middle of the box.
Oh, yes.
And that's the only place you can put your stuff. That is a guaranteed throw out the first time I open the box. It's done. How do you guys feel about board game inserts? Are they necessary, or do they add to the game?
I feel like there's definitely...
Yes, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. The more components there are to the game, the more organization is so necessary. Like, you take a game like Phantom Inc., where it's just cards, a notepad, and pencils. Yeah, whatever. Throw it in a bag. It's fine.
Yeah.
You take Castles of Burgundy, the game of the show today, with all of its bits and pieces, it's like, no, we need some sense of organization here.
And you made an interesting point. Even on a small game, it's not that vital. But I took a look at Amazon today. You can go on Amazon and buy a deck of 52 cards made by the Bicycle Card Company. That costs you $4.89. Or you can buy the game Regicide. which consists of 52 playing cards, all in the same suits with all the same faces, that's going to cost you $17. We're already paying triple amounts for a quality game.
Mm-hmm.
Give us the pieces we need with this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for me, when it comes to storage, so at the very minimum, either something or nothing, right? Like, don't try at all if you're going to give me some flimsy little 2-piece of cardboard, because you're right, JK, it gets thrown out immediately. I'll just go with the bags, have an empty box, and just roll with it. But if you're going to try a little bit, at the very least, have some compartments. Like, I don't need a molded plastic insert that's like some kind of, crowdfunding Kickstarter deluxeified style thing, but at least some version of like, here's 5 compartments to at least separate things out into.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you have like more than 5 types of components that I need to sort and be able to for me, it's all about how fast I get to the table.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole purpose of these inserts.
Yeah.
Right. I'm fine with throwing stuff in bags in terms of just keeping it stored. That doesn't bother me that much. But how much more difficult is it going to make it to get it to the table? And will that actually get in the way of me wanting to get it off the shelf?
Yeah.
Sometimes it is. Sometimes the thought of having to, because maybe it's been a year and a half since I played it or something. I'm like, I got to go through all the bags, remember which ones are expansions, which ones aren't expansions, and I try and bag things as best as I can to separate stuff out, but you don't touch a game for a long time, you forget. And if I can't get it to the table quickly, it might not get played.
You talked about those big Kickstarters that have the really nice, ostentatious organizers in there, and I'm not giving them a free pass later. We're coming back to them because we're going to yell about them too.
I've got one thing on that, and it might tie into what you were going to say later, but I will take an empty box. That's fine because I can bag everything, throw it in there. A lot of it has to do with how the game sits on my shelf because I store a lot of them in like books. So if it falls out of the container that they've given it, I will just take that insert out and put everything in bags. Stays on the shelf a little bit better. What I cannot abide is when a Kickstarter makes sleeves for their cards and the insert does not fit the sleeved cards.
That's where I was going to go.
That is like white. I paid a premium price for your products. You designed the sleeves. You designed the insert, and this was a fail.
That's exactly where I was going to go with that, Dwayne, and even more so when you buy the deluxe edition of the game and the organizer is designed for the standard edition and can't fit the deluxe components. That's just annoying because those games, we're not talking $40, $50. We're talking maybe $100 or up.
Maybe.
We're getting the premium edition and can't really store all of our pieces in there. Looking right at you, Wonderland's War and Merchants of the Dark Road, because I can't fit any of your sleeved cards in there. And Wonderland's War, even more, just came out with a little mini expansion that was nice, had to have it, but now I can't fit any of that in the organizer without going back and unsleeving all of my cards to try and make additional room for the expansion. Think things through.
I had to get creative with the Wonderland's War expansion. I got not the sleeved cards conversation, but the rest of it, I did have to get a little creative with how to make it fit. It was in there, but it was tight.
What I don't understand about this, too, and James, I'm going to pick on a game that you and I have both played. I don't know if Emily and Dwayne have seen this, but you and I both picked up Hippocrates at Origins.
Mm-hmm.
Great game, lots of fun. When you look at the board, when you look at the cardboard pieces, really thick, really nice, high quality, good artwork. You've got little plastic tokens that represent the 3 different types of medicine in the game that are really well done.
Yeah, molded, nice.
Yeah. Then you've got 5 dice, which were kind of junk.
Oh, they're terrible.
They're awful, and no insert whatsoever. For me, as somebody that's buying this game, I'm kind of looking at the designer and going, why did you think erring so high on the plastic pieces for the medicines offset the lower quality of other stuff? Just make a decent quality game across the board. Don't wow me with one piece and then crap on me with another one.
Well, what's funny, that game in particular, they actually had nicer dice for the prototypes they sent out when they were originally funding it. And then they switched them during production to something lesser quality. I would imagine to save dollars, right? Because, I mean, you multiply, what was that, 5 dice times whatever the production units are, you can get some savings. So, but it's just, it's unsatisfying to roll those dice.
Yeah.
It's like rolling paper dice, or it's just the weirdest.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's not good. Game Brewer, the publisher, they actually make some solid games, but their production has been up and down over the years. So, yeah, it's disappointing when a publisher gets a reputation for having low quality production, And for them, it's weird because it's mishmashed.
Yeah.
They have good
Yeah.
stuff and bad stuff.
Yeah,
And it's
in
like,
the same
it's
game.
like
Yeah.
you made good decisions here and poor ones here. I don't quite understand.
I made a few short lists going into this rant. For sure on the nice organizers, but man, a major flaw when you went to sleeve them. I had Wonderland's War, Merchants of the Dark Road, the new reprinting of Great Western Trail, all in that same boat. You can't fit the sleeved cards in there. For really, really surprisingly bad storage, I went with Hippocrates. I went with Kutnohora, the City of Silver, which has absolutely nothing in it. You can pretty much take any game in the CGE or Queen universes. I think their organizers are generally pretty bad. Which ones are great? Which ones have great organizers? The one that jumped out to me first, Dwayne, I know you have this as well, the Castles of Mad King Ludwig New Edition. Fantastic organizer, and also they found a way to incorporate the organizer into the actual boards of the game itself. It's brilliant.
Oh,
it's very well done. And although the newest expansion for Castles of Mad King Ludwig Renovations does not fit into either of the large boxes from the Colossal Edition, they did include the game trays with it. So
Nice.
at least everything is, you still have that same organizer across the expansion.
I also did throw Dice Throne and Seven Wonders Architects on the list, both for having organizers that you could incorporate into the game. Calling out Heat and Tang Garden for having nice, well-thought organizers that hold every piece of the game.
and that's what, like, call back to episode 1. You said he built it in a way that potentially
It's got
allows
room.
room,
Yeah, it's got
for
room.
an expansion. So it's like, it's okay to like have a little bit of empty space. And it's like, obviously you can't predict everything, but if you know something might be coming.
Yeah. And one last one that I wanted to add in, I think the Everdell Complete Deluxe Collection is great organizing for all of your pieces. But the other thing, they went a step further and also labeled all the individual sections of the components so you know exactly what's supposed to go in.
Yes. Role player adventure that's sitting over on the table right now. The inserts for that actually have the labels too, into the molded plastic. Speaking of that type of issue, I wanted to bring up Final Girl, which is a single player game by a local company, Van Ryder. They had an original Kickstarter, and things didn't quite fit in sleeved the way I really wanted them to. Second Kickstarter, they were like, hey, we know you all like your sleeved cards. We are actually going to send out with this second edition some new inserts to make things fit a little better.
Nice.
A good solution to the problem that they realized that they had.
Nice. Shout out also to, what are the companies called that I wanted to name? Folded Space.
Yes, Folded Space is our hero when it comes to helping with bad game inserts.
And what's the wooden one? Broken Token.
Broken Token.
Yes.
Those are games. If I know Broken Token's had some public issues, but they still have a nice product. Those are the kind of things where I've got a game that I really, really like that has no insert whatsoever. I'm going out and spending $25, $30 to buy a custom-made insert that's going to fit it. Game designers, spend that extra couple bucks. We'll pay you a little more for it.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm going to play devil's advocate a little bit, and it's to connect to that idea. So cost of productions, cost of games have just gone up, period. Not just on like crowdfunding stuff, but just retail editions of games. I mean, I don't know, a standard Euro game or something with, even Cascadia. I mean, it's going to be $40, but you get more complex. So you get to Arc Nova, you're talking $80, right? Nucleum is $80 retail, I think. And that's just a straight retail copy. Games are not inexpensive nowadays. And publishers are looking to cut costs where they can to still be able to deliver a viable product to market. And I feel like the custom vacuum formed, molded, insert, all that kind of stuff is one of those things where they might rely on hobbyists to say, hey, we're going to provide. So here's the thing: at least provide enough bags and stuff for the components.
Yeah,
give me that, and they know that if someone's an enthusiast, they'll go and find a folded space, an additional thing to purchase for the game because they love it so much. But in order to deliver a product that is profitable, they have to cut a cost. And I think inserts is where that happens.
We've mentioned Garfield Games several times on the show, and one of the things that I think they do well is when they do a Kickstarter for one of their new games, it's in the deluxe version. It's in a bigger box. It's got the insert. It's got the nicer components. When that game hits retail, They create a downsized version that doesn't have the insert. It's got less going for it. I don't even know if it's a little cheaper. I think it is, maybe.
I don't think so, but yeah.
But it's not. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles. I get what you're saying, James, that they have to kind of bank on the broader market than the collectors. But I feel like that's where most companies think opposite. They start with the basic edition, and then if it sells well, then they're putting the bells and whistles on it. But if it's selling well, that means the people that are really supporting that game already bought it. And so their only option then is to go back and buy it again to get more bells and whistles and upgrade the one they've got.
Yeah, it's a weird space. DeVere, I think, is another good company that makes really small boxes and packs a ton of content into a small production. So smaller box, costs less to produce. It's incredibly difficult to get it all back in the box sometimes. Yeah. But I don't know. I think it's just there's this balance to, getting what you paid for, but then also we're okay spending a few dollars more, but what's the broader market willing to spend on that?
And that's broader market brings up a good point. One of my friends has a ton of the expansions for Clank. How many people are going to have like all of the expansions for Clank? And so he went online to Etsy, and someone had a 3D printed version like layout to where he can fit like all but one of the expansions in the base Clank box. So I think it's interesting, like looking to the hobbyist to create solutions to what may be a super niche problem. But yeah, it's interesting. It's to get it, like, I can't wait for us to like have a game designer on the podcast so we can be like, how are you approaching this problem? Because we're like now approaching it from just the game enthusiast.
And also, if I'm saying there's a game that's $50 that has an organizer, and here's the game that 24 that doesn't, and I'm mad that the 24 one doesn't. No, that's not apples to apples. But if I've got two $50 games of comparable components, one's got a really nice organizer and one's an empty box, I'm kind of wondering where this company made that decision with.
Now I'm trying to think of like, what's the cheapest game I've seen that has a really good organizer? Just like running that through my head now.
Well, probably another piece of that, not to go back to the business side, but I know sometimes we get the idea that these board game companies are large companies just because they brought out 4 or 5 games to, they've been published and they're successful and this and that. And not every board game publisher is equal. Like you have your big Simons and Awakened Realms, but I mean, even a company like Stonemaier Games, who does Wingspan, right, and Scythe and Viticulture and all these big games, that's like a 3-person team or something. So there, if you've had more success, you have more buffer, right? Profit in the banks to make wiggle room to please the customers while maybe taking a small loss. But if you're a small publisher, I mean, you have 2 publishers side by side, both putting out a $50 game, one that has a great insert, one that doesn't. The one that doesn't just might not have enough, leftover profit to be able to provide that extra value, and they just need more time to. Another way to think about it, I think. Yeah. Just because they're just all, it's a really small industry actually. So
game companies that have a small staff like that, go on Etsy and find the people that are doing the inserts on Etsy and talk to them and have them design your insert for you. There you go. Problem solved.
Yeah, but I agree. I mean, if you're going to give me nothing, at least give me, if you're going to be in 3 bags and you have 20 components, give me enough bags. I'll throw out the cardboard little thing, or go the other direction. But yeah, for me, it's all about how fast can I get to the table.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. I feel better.
All right. We're glad you feel better. All right, listeners, this episode's game of the show is Castles of Burgundy, and this kind of ties into what we were just talking about. We got to play the special edition for the game of the show.
It's pretty.
This edition of the game was published by Awakened Realms, and it's designed by Stefan Feld. The artists were Jakob Zawalski and Patrick Jitterzik. It was really the special edition was released in 2023. It plays 1 to 4 players, but it's at its most gleeful at 2 players. JK, tell us how to play Castles of Burgundy.
Sure. I want to say something. I'm going to explain this game. I'm going to put it out there. If you like it, you can take it. If you don't, just send it right back. Castles of Burgundy. You play a member of upper crust French society with a duchy in France that you are trying to populate with various building tiles. These come in a wide variety, whether they are castles, mines, city buildings, ships along the river, or even livestock. You are selecting these tiles from an available market in the center of the board. What tiles you get to select are based on a dice roll that you are going to roll every single turn. You are very limited to what you can take based on the dice that you roll. You can mitigate those dice by using workers to move the numbers up or down, but that's not going to get you necessarily everything that you want in the market. You might be stuck with a bad dice roll, and you're going to find yourself in a glass case of emotion. You might find that early choice in the game where you want mines get taken by somebody else, and Knights of Columbus, that's going to hurt you in the late game. As the game goes on, the choices that you make become trickier and trickier to make because what was once a wide open board becomes more and more congested, and you're losing things from the market. You're going to think to yourself, boy, this game escalates quickly. And in the end, you're trying to create the best possible duchy among the 4 players and compete for the most points. That's Castles of Burgundy. So now, go yourself, San Diego.
I don't get it.
Someone hasn't seen Anchorman.
Oh, it's been so long. I've seen it, but so a classic, guys,
Yes, it is.
by
And,
most standards.
and we played a very pretty version of it, too.
We did. It
And
was nice.
I would like to note that this was number 1 on JK's list last year. Yes?
Yeah. So,
So in the JK rating, it's number 1.
Dwayne, when did you say the original of this came out? Did you say when the original of this came out?
I didn't.
Okay. Is it 90s?
No, it's not that old. I actually had
it's
it
like
up
2011.
earlier. That
No.
feels very close
Really?
to
It's
right.
that soon?
Yeah, it's more recent than that.
So when I started into my craft board gaming pursuit, Castles of Burgundy was high on Board Game Geek's list, 2011. Okay.
2011.
Nailed it.
It was high on Board Game Geek's list, and I wanted to play it, and I took one look at the Ravensburger version and went, wow, that game is so ugly. I want nothing to do with it. And avoided it for a couple years. Thankfully, a member of our Gleeful Meeple group brought in a copy. Shout out to Travis. Sat me down, taught me how to play it, and boy, was it brilliant. And I fell in love with the game right away. Could not find a copy of the Ravensburger edition at all. So I bought the Anniversary Edition, which the Anniversary Edition was a remake where they attempted to kind of goose up the artwork, make it a little prettier.
Kinda did it.
Kinda did.
That is a very common complaint about that. Yeah, it's for a special edition. There's just not that much special about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I played that a couple times, and when you look at my top 100 games of all time, I think back in 2021, Castles of Burgundy was a top 20 game. It was solid. But Awakened Realms came out with this new version on GameFound, and so in 2022, I backed that, proceeded to sell my Anniversary Edition, and patiently wait for this one to come off. So in 2022, it was not on my top 100 at all. One of my rules for my top 100 is that I have to have the game in my collection. And this brand new version, as of last year, as Emily said, firmly sits at number 1.
Yeah, these special editions. So we mentioned, I think it may have been last episode, where like sometimes special editions aren't a big deal in terms of helping me enjoy playing the game. It doesn't change the gameplay at all. And this one doesn't change the gameplay at all, but it really is satisfying to play with all the deluxe components. It's all, I want to say it's Bakelite. Is that what those types of little tiles are called? It's just, they throw them in a bag and they
got that nice clickety-clack.
clickety-clack inside. It's really satisfying.
That's what I love playing games that JK brings to the table, because more often than not, he's upgraded all of the cardboard bits to just either metal or like plastic, just pretty like very satisfying to handle.
Yeah, they even have miniatures in this version for the castles. And if you want to go extra further, they even offered miniatures for the livestock. So I didn't get that far. I got everything from my deluxe version except for like the livestock stuff, and it doesn't need the castles, but it's kind of fun to see it on the board.
Pretty. They got a nice little wash on them. Yeah, we didn't play with the castles or the expanded buildings, and there has been an additional game found released this year to upgrade some more of the bits. So I did invest in that. So
yeah, but talking about the game, so you mentioned points. This is a classic point salad game. That's what Stefan Feld is known for. I mean, he just designs games where everything you do gets you points, which makes it hard to know exactly where you're at during the game sometime. It can look like you're doing really well. I'm pointing at myself, and then the game ends, and spoiler alert, not always the case.
you're kind of racing to do a variety of things in the game. You're trying to fill up your duchy, which is a hexagonal grid of X amount of spaces. I could probably do the math at some point and figure out how many. You're looking at some of the tiles that you fill. Castles will give you additional actions. Livestock will give you just straight points for the size of your herd. Ships will give you additional goods you can sell and move you up in player order. But there's also these monastery tiles, and monastery tiles are kind of one of the keys to the game. About half of them gives you some sort of special power that you can continually use throughout the game. The other half of them are strictly end-game points, so you're trying to build bonuses based on what you've already put into your duchy. If you can successfully do that, that's really going to drive victory. If you put some bonus tiles in there and then don't do anything to fulfill them, I'm raising my hand at this point, then you're in trouble.
That's what I wish we had logged or just made note of what the standing was before we counted endgame points. Because that's what, like, I was surprised as James on, like, the final outcome. JK is explaining the rules because this was the first time I had ever played this game, and I had not gotten a lot of sleep the night before.
This was your Terraforming Mars.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I had a song stuck in my head the entire time you were explaining the rules. And I was like, I might be checked out of this. Like, well, just best of luck. And I found that I really, like, I enjoyed the gameplay a lot. Like, I understand why it was JK's number one game of last year. And so that strategy, I was like, I might not have the best strategy, but I'm just going to go for it based off of, like, what I've learned from playing other strategy games and try to get a mix of, like, okay, I've kind of locked into these end game bonuses, and so I'm going to go for these. The castles were the red tiles.
Yes.
I felt like every time I was like, okay, I'm going to get a castle this time, Dwayne snagged it up. And so I'm like, like moves and counter moves. It's like, okay, I have plan A. Dwayne took my castle. Okay, figure out what's plan B, what's plan C. And just like building up that array of counter moves, like I found that very enjoyable.
The song that was stuck in your head, was it Past the Duchy by Musical Youth?
No, it was BBL Drizzy because the rep beef was going on.
Is that still going on or has that ended?
It's pretty much over. It's hit, the viralness of it is over.
Oh, that's sad.
So this was about my third play of Castles of Burgundy. Every time I play the game, I enjoy it, but it's a game I'm challenged to figure out what I love about it so much. And if I had to put a fine point on it, I'd say it's probably just that you can think about your turn the entire... We played a 4-player game, which is a little long for Burgundy, but there was never a moment when I was bored. I was constantly looking at what other people had, thinking about what my next move was. The game state's going to change from going around, but still, like getting that plan B and C together to know what my turn was going to be. I found that very interesting about this game.
There was one point during the game where I was kind of calculating my next couple moves, and I felt like I had a really good strategy that I didn't think James was going to interfere with. I didn't think Emily was going to interfere with it. I thought Dwayne might, and I kind of turned and looked at Dwayne for a second, and we made eye contact. And in my head, I was like, he doesn't realize that's there yet. I'm safe. It's going to be fine. Sure enough, Dwayne's next move snagged it right out from under me.
Sniped.
Yeah, and to your point, Dwayne, part of that satisfying feeling, I think, is the fact that the market on the main board, there's like 6 mini markets, right? There's one section for each pip on the dice. So 6 mini markets plus the black market in the middle. There's just a lot of options. Mm-hmm. Now you're kind of restrained to the dice that you rolled, but you can mitigate those, and you can also use your dice in other ways as well, besides using them for market actions. So the fact that you said you're always thinking, right, even when it's not your turn, just because there's a lot to think about, but it's not overwhelming.
No,
and I
no,
think it's
not at all.
fun to figure out, okay, my best move is this, but if I can't use the dice that way, I can definitely use the dice this way. And you're just waiting to see what other people are doing. But it's not hard, I don't think, to kind of plan out that ABC possibility. Because it's all there, and it doesn't change much other than things being removed.
Yeah.
That and there, I don't think there's a huge difference between like the success of plan A or the success of plan C. Like there are games where if I get blocked on a strategy or an action or whatever, that basically means I've lost the game, and that can be really infuriating. It like with this one, and it's like I don't know if it was because of the end game points, and so you don't really know where you are during the game. But it was like going with plan C a few rounds in a row, I didn't feel hopeless. I was like, okay, I might still have a shot. I'm just going to tweak it and adjust from here. And like the plan C now becomes the top strategy.
As James said, there's a black market in the middle of the board. So there are 6 markets on the board that each have 4 tiles per round. As you roll die, the pips on the die determine which market you can choose from. The black market you can go to once per turn and buy anything you want out of that market with 2 silver. Silver is generated by the mines in the game, which to me, that's my favorite strategy. Go mines and black market.
Yeah, it was fun trying to piece together a strategy as I was going along. I think I filled up my mines early so that I could maximize my income.
You outran me the mines in the first couple of rounds.
Yeah, which was really nice. And then what I really enjoyed out of my strategy that I just fell into on accident was this was one of the rules that like just took the longest to like sink in my head. I was like, why is our player order changing? Like, how do we change it? And it's like, oh, every time you do like a ship that helps, blah, blah, blah. And so JK had like maxed out his ships. So when it came time for the last few rounds, it's like, okay, JK's locked in. Like he can't do anything about it. If I can pass him, I'm definitely going to be able to play the last round in front of him. And like not having that locked down towards the end, I think helped in my favor. And it was fun that I finally understood what the ships did.
But I had also picked up a monastery tile that meant if anybody else got to that first place mark on top of me, I would still go back to the top of the stack and be first
That is
regardless.
true.
So
it wasn't you. Maybe it was getting in front of James that helped. Something.
And I went for an opposite strategy of no mines.
you went heavy on livestock. Both James and Dwayne went livestock. I don't remember Emily really delving into it.
I think
well.
I got one livestock tile the entire game.
Yeah, so I was trying to do something a little bit different. Where Dwayne added on to that was he actually got some monastery tiles at some point in the game. I went for the strategy of no mines and no monasteries.
And how'd that work out?
If you've played Castles of Burgundy, that probably sounds a little crazy, but it actually went really well up to a point. But then when those end game points start getting ticked in, you start to fall behind a little bit. But the way agriculture works is it's an accumulation effect for the score that you get. So if you have an area on your duchy that's 6 green hexagons, you can use any type of animal type to fill those spaces. There's cows, there's goats, there's sheep, there's different types. But if you can fill it with the same type every single time, you will accumulatively add up points for the previous tiles you have placed in that area. So 1 cow gets you this, 2 cows get you this, 6 cows get you this, and it just adds and adds and adds. I did that very, very well and shot ahead on the score track very quickly. And not only do you have to get a tile with cows on it, but there are tiles with 2 cows or tiles with 4 cows. And I managed to get most tiles that had the max number of animals on it. So I shot ahead very quickly and then kept scoring along the way. But not having the mines, I don't think affected me at all. I found ways to get money. There's buildings that get you money and other things. Selling goods gets you money, if I remember correctly. Yes, it does. But it's I don't think you can have a chance at winning if you don't do something with monastery tiles. I think it's just too powerful.
At one point, I took a cow tile almost out of spite, just because I didn't want you to have another cow tile.
About the monasteries, to me, that's one of the things that's a little frustrating about the game is there's just so many of them, and they each do different things, and trying to keep track. Fortunately, they did have the forethought to put that on the player aid on the back,
so
but I had a
nice.
lot of back and forth, and then as you're trying to calculate what's going on, about the time you realize what you're going to do, it's like, oh yeah, which monastery tile was it I was focusing on for all this to happen again? So that was a little bit of an issue for me. And the other thing on the player reference card is it doesn't define meadow scoring or livestock scoring quite right, because it's like you multiply it for every animal, and it's only every animal within an adjacent field. So they could have cleaned that up a little bit. Aside from that, I had a great time playing it, and I look forward to seeing it on the table again in the future.
The game, especially the monastery tiles, are a little icon heavy. If you don't have a decent understanding of the game, you might just stare at a tile and go, I don't know what this does. I'm gonna skip it.
The player aid is great in the deluxe version. I've played the original Ravensburger once or twice a long time ago, but I can't remember what the play rate's like. This one, other than what Dwayne said, it actually is pretty well communicated through imagery and organization on the card itself. It's a large card actually because of the amount of tiles they have to explain. So I would say that it is a lot for probably a new player to have to try to internalize.
Yeah, because
what's important, what's not.
This is definitely like a game where it's, you might want to keep an eye on the newbie. And I'm not saying I did it wrong, but we did have like an asterisk moment where you're supposed to, oh no, what are the white tiles called?
So the buildings, the neighborhood buildings,
you can only have one type in an area.
In each neighborhood.
In each neighborhood, yeah. And so we had a little hiccup there. And so it's like,
you can call me out. It was me. It's fine. You can call me. Yes, I accidentally placed two of the same tile in one area. But it was like an accidental cheat. I didn't even realize I did it.
So like I don't think it's too overwhelming, but it is definitely something if you're playing with someone for the first time or newbie or whatever, something to keep an eye on. But I didn't really have any other negatives.
No, I can't think back to
a great time.
A moment when playing the game that I felt frustrated or like, man, why did they do that? Like I questioned the design or anything like that. None of that really popped up when we were playing it. It's just it's fun to play, right? It's fun watching you build out your duchy, trying to connect all these different areas together, build it out in a way that it's advantageous, and there's nothing that is frustrating about that experience, at least from our play.
I'll throw one final thing in here. It's rare that you're going to hear me say this, but the app of this game, playing it online, is fantastic. So highly recommend that as well.
I'm glad you brought that up because I had not considered this app, so I will have to take a look at that.
It is also on Board Game Arena if you wanted to play it. This would be a good game probably to play quickly on Board Game Arena.
Okay.
Not a lot of bookkeeping per se, but I could see it playing pretty quick on there.
All right, well, let's go around the table and answer the question, are you going to keep this to play or trade it away? JK.
Well, let's start with Deluxe Edition. Absolutely. If you have the opportunity to get this game, get it, keep it. It's going to be part of your collection for your life. If you can only find the Ravensburger version, still play it. Maybe try it out, see if you like it, get past the ugliness. But this is definitely a win regardless of what format you play it in.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, keep it to play. Lots of replayability as well. So we keep referencing this duchy board that you're putting your tiles down onto. You have a cardboard player board with an empty space in it that you put in this kind of paper thin, duchy
like
board.
A template.
There's like, in the deluxe version, there's 50 of them or something. It's crazy.
We all played board number 1 of 30.
30,
so,
yeah.
Nice.
But even in the Ravensburger editions, there's multiple duchies you can play. So it just brings out multiple strategy options. And in the new deluxe version, there's a new released vineyard expansion. So definitely keep it to play for me. I think there's a lot of strategy to mine out of this if you want to kind of dig through all those different duchy boards.
It is also keep it to play for me.
Yay.
I think the replayability is amazing. And yeah, this would be a game where I would love to try out different strategies and different boards and see how that goes.
I was very excited to get another play of this in, and I want to continue playing it.
Yes.
We're gonna keep this one to play.
Yes.
And now time for the big reveal. Who won our game?
Well, you would think, it's my game. I taught you guys. I should have been the clear dominant favorite in this game.
And where'd you come in, JK?
Right?
I think I was third, fourth.
All right.
Was I dead last?
And James, who kind of cheated, where'd you come in?
Third.
Oh, wow. Wow. Didn't even help him.
No.
Oh, sad. What about you, Dwayne? How did you do?
You know what? I thought going into final scoring, I had a chance on this one, but unfortunately, Emily point saladed her way to the top.
Yay.
And Emily, that means I have a question for you. What is our game for the next episode?
All right. So, I have with me 2 games, and I need your help deciding. I'm going to give you the mechanisms, and you're going to help me decide.
Okay.
Do we play a roll and write game, or
Yes.
do we play a set collection game?
I will double down on the roll and write.
I feel like I'm controlling JK's fate here because I know what he doesn't want me to say.
Yes.
Which means I might have a chance at winning. I'm gonna roll and right, baby.
Damn it.
All right. So, our roll and write game is going to be on tour.
Oh.
Oh, I've not played this one.
I have made a huge mistake.
Yeah. I'm a little deflated.
Well, speaking of future games of the show, if there's a game you'd like us to play, please send your suggestions and any thoughts you have about On Tour to pod@gleefulmeeple.com.
Hey there, Gleeples. James from the recording booth here. Well, we are actually not going to be playing on tour. A little bit of life happened, and so we are switching that out for Point City, the follow-up to the very casual, fun, light card game Point Salad. So track down a copy of Point City, and we'll see you in the next episode to talk about it.
So, I think we've talked enough about games that it's time to play a game on air. No, not a board game, a game about board games. This week, James is our game challenger.
Yeah. So,
James has an intimidating number of note cards with him right now.
if you can hear this, it makes for great audio, I'm sure, coming over.
It reminds me of back in the day when Letterman would go, real letters written by real viewers, and tap in the cards on the desk.
So we are going to play we're going to call it real-time trivia time.
Let's go.
Just pure trivia. But it's going to be teams, not teams. We're going to call back to last episode. It's going to be cooperative.
Okay.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I have a stack of index cards for each of you. That is a collection of some area of board gaming. And you're going to have to look through these cue cards and just to yourself and try to get the other 2 people to guess what is on that cue card without using the words on that cue card.
It's like the Newlywed Game.
Kind
Or
of, sort of.
Taboo.
And so I'm trying to wisely choose who to give these stacks of cue cards to, or index cards. And I think I'm going to start with Emily.
Okay.
So I'm going to give you this stack right here.
Okay.
And you can look at the top, you can look at the one we flip it to yourself. What does it say?
Mechanics.
Yeah. So you have a stack there of index cards with board game mechanics
Okay.
that you have to get Dwayne and JK to guess.
Oh, no. Okay.
And
all right.
you have to get through as many as you can
All
in a
right.
minute and a half.
Let me clear my area.
Let me clear my throat.
Okay. All right. We got some mechanics.
All right. So whenever you're ready, let me know and I'll start the clock. And if you can, all the ones you get through in the time period, if you can get them to successfully guess them, you get 1 point for each. Any that are left over, we'll tackle afterwards and you get half a point for those.
Ooh.
And
okay.
these are all game mechanisms.
Game mechanisms.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Go.
Ladder claiming game.
All right. This was the other option of the next game of the show.
Set collection.
Yep. What people think Scout is, but it's
Ladder claiming game. No, trick taking game.
Trick-taking.
yes. Blood on the Clock Tower has to do with
Social deduction.
Can I skip? Can I pass?
Yeah, you can pass.
Okay. Passing. Oh no, I don't like these. Clank is a
Deck,
Deck
builder.
builder.
Scout is actually
Ladder trick taking.
Ink and Gold.
Risk. I just said it earlier.
Risk and reward.
No.
Bluffing.
Press your luck.
Yeah.
Yes. Long shot horse.
Betting.
Not betting, but what do the horses do?
Gallop.
Racing.
Yes. Azul has
Tiles.
Tile laying.
yeah,
Tile drafting.
close.
Tile selection.
What do you
tile.
do with the tiles to your board? Where do you?
Tile placement.
Yes. What we're doing right now is
Playing
Trivia.
a co-op game.
almost
Co-op.
co-op. It's
Semi-co-op.
yes. Okay. Thunder Road Vendetta when people
Racing.
get out of the game.
Elimination.
Player elimination.
Yes. BSG the Cylon is a
Trader.
Stone Age is a
Dice.
Worker placement.
yep.
Time.
Wow.
That was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
All right.
I'm sweating.
So,
This whole podcast is me and Dwayne shouting now.
how many did you get?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Wow.
12. All right. And then let's go through the rest of them and see if you can get those.
Okay. Heat has this element with the cards. You have to do
Hand selection. Action selection.
hand.
Hand management.
Okay. This is a 2-player game where you're moving stones across a board.
Mancala?
Yeah. Oh, what is a game that uses this? I'm gonna have to pause that one. All right. On BGA, you can do turn-based or you can do
Real time.
I actually don't know if I know these. Okay. Risk has this mechanism.
War game?
No, it's
Area control?
yes.
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay. Dwayne and I are going to argue, and then we're going to come to a compromise.
Every day?
Negotiation.
Yes.
Oh, look at that. At the same time, it all came together.
Oh, when you're aggressive towards another player.
Aggro.
No, it's a mechanic.
Warfare.
Hate drafting?
Oh, that's a good one.
I think
Player
it's in the
elimination?
same vein. No, because it's kind of like a
Take that.
yes.
Nailed it.
Can you see these?
No.
Okay, just double check.
Only when you put them down.
I don't know what that one, or I probably do, but
Would you like to hand them to me,
No,
and we'll
there
see
we
if we
go.
can get JK to get them?
okay.
Sure. That would
Here's
work.
one where it would really help if I knew games with these, where a piece can go from one place to another place, but you don't see me put the piece from
Hidden
one
movement.
place. Yes.
There we go.
Boom.
Well done.
Okay. This one involves 2 people, 1 person.
That's the hardest one for sure.
You cut, I choose.
Yes.
Wow, Dwayne, where did you pull that one out of?
Because I sold I sold a game over the weekend, and I said that several times while I was trying to move it.
Oh, thank goodness.
You got through all of them.
I did. Good
Gain
job,
of
guys.
12,
Thank you.
We got 13, 14, 15, 16 total points for Emily.
All right. Way to go, Emily.
What is a game with hidden movement?
Clue, the Great Museum Caper has it.
The Dracula,
Fury-
mind management,
Fear
Dracula.
of Dracula.
Mind Management has it.
Spectre Ops,
Letters from White Castle.
Chapel.
Chapel. Yeah. Letters from Whitechapel.
Oh man, letters from White Castle are always so greasy.
That needs to be,
Gross.
that's a
And they
game that
smell
needs
like
to be
onions.
made.
All right, that's mechanics.
All right, that is
What's
mechanics.
next?
Good job, Emily. All right, these next 2 will be a bit more challenging. I'm going to give you both 2 minutes.
Okay,
Ooh.
fair enough.
And I'm going to give this one to Dwayne.
All right.
All right, Dwayne, for you, your stack. What do you got?
BGG top 100 games.
Ooh, okay.
Oh man.
Now, are we playing moniker rules where I cannot say any part of the word that's on the card?
Yes.
That's how I
Good
did it.
times. Okay. Ready when you are.
All right, let me get my timer ready. And ready, set, go.
This is part of what I consider the Eric Lang trilogy. It's about anger.
Rising Sun, Blood Rage.
Yep. This is a game that I dislike. It has
Ark
hexes
Nova.
and
Yeah.
wildlife, and people love it. Came out about 2 years ago.
Cascadia?
Yep.
Oh.
This is the famous deck builder of this crowd where you
Clank.
can try not to make too much noise. JK loves this 5-player game, and I despise it. We almost played it
Scout?
last
Nova?
week.
Oh.
We almost played it last
Ark
week.
Nova?
Oh, El Grande.
That's it. This is one where I'm going to skip it. This is a 5-player combat game. It strikes me as being kind of Russian in theme, and it's named after a
Scythe.
weapon. Not 6 horrible things, but
5 bad things.
go up, go up.
7 Wonders.
That's it. Don't roll for the universe.
Well,
Roll for-
Race for the Galaxy.
Tile laying game that we talked about earlier. There's like 4 or 5 flavors of this.
Zool?
Yep.
Azul.
This is a huge, expensive game where you kill a lot of things over.
Twilight Imperium.
We're gonna skip that one.
No.
Oh, this is a tiny box game. It's a co-op trick taker.
The mission? No.
Close.
The Crew.
Yeah,
Mission Deep Sea.
we're gonna
I
get
can
those.
never
We'll go with
say
it.
it
Hey,
correctly.
JK, we dropped this game on the floor once.
Oh, Quacks of Quedlinburg.
That is correct.
Don't say we.
I think this game has to do with trees.
Everdell?
Yep.
Nice.
This is a game that's set in the 1870s, 1880s,
With
and you're
Coco?
a cattle rustler.
Great Western Trail.
That's the one, the wine game.
With viticulture.
Yes.
Yep.
Try to no, let's skip that. Hey, this is a splatter game where you build restaurants.
Food chain magnate.
That is correct. This is a bag builder, not set in
Orleans?
the new version of the city. A non-alcoholic type of beer.
O'Doul's.
All right, that is it. So how many did you get, Dwayne?
All right.
Let's count those.
So the ones we got
cards
correct are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
15.
Ooh.
I
All
don't know
right.
if he
and
needed those extra 30 seconds.
I don't know if he did. What do you got left there?
My favorite board game.
Battlestar Galactica.
Second favorite board game. Okay. You are running an establishment trying to put guests into rooms.
Grand
Grand
Austria
Austria
Hotel.
That's
Hotel. I
it.
should have known that.
This is Bridgerton the board game.
Obsession.
Yes. Not an Arkham horror game, but a great game with the same monsters.
Cthulhu Death May Die.
That is it. Resting.
Face.
JK, no.
Resting Thor and Odin.
Rising God.
Close.
Sleeping Gods.
That's it.
No.
Oh,
good.
resting.
This is a fun game in an ugly box.
Oh.
It is a
You're gonna have to
card
be more
select.
specific.
It is a card action selection game.
Keep going.
It's got a map. It's got several maps with the expansions.
Oh,
JK, if I really like a book, I might get a book that tells me all the references, and it is
Like
a
a guide.
Bibliography.
close.
Biblios.
We're gonna have
Think
to
Aquatica.
Yes, that is a good hint.
Aquatica. I don't know what that means.
Okay, we'll skip that one.
Okay.
This is a discovery game set in space. It's Clue in space is how I would think of it. You are looking for a celestial
Search for Planet
body.
X.
That's it.
Nailed
Wow.
it.
This is based on a popular movie franchise. There's 2 films that just came out
Dune.
recently.
Dune.
Dune Imperium.
That will work.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna get this one.
Okay.
This is a let's try it this way. Fiefdom.
Tealtum.
Deceased.
Dead.
Villain.
Dead Bad Guy World.
Oh, JK, the video game series that has Mickey and Final Fantasy characters.
Kingdom Hearts.
First word.
Kingdom.
Yep.
Kingdom Death.
Yes.
Kingdom Death Monster.
That's it.
What?
That was the rogue one in there.
That was difficult. Okay, this is a game where you work as a team to uncode something.
Decrypto?
That is it.
Nice.
This is a game that I went with this earlier. A delicious non-alcoholic beer. It has several classes, and you're fighting on a map. Oh, trees have
Roots?
Yeah.
Root?
Okay.
God. Now I feel dumb.
Here we go. We're gonna break this one down. X.
Why?
Okay, let me try again.
Z.
I was in prison, so I am an X.
Convict?
Close enough. First part of that.
Con?
Cut the. I got rid of cable,
Cord?
so I cut the.
Concordia.
That's it.
There it is. You got it.
You could have said that like one super fast plane that doesn't exist anymore, Concorde.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could have done that, but I decided to go in a horrible other direction.
All right, so we went 19 points for Dwayne there. It's not an even game. It's just for fun. You actually had more cards or less cards. You had more cards. I think they had one of those two ways. All right, JK.
This feels very loosey-goosey here.
It is. It's very loosey-goosey because it's a game where all the points don't matter.
Yay.
Fun.
So this is probably going to be the most challenging one.
Okay.
What is your category?
The Philippines.
No.
Let's go.
It's publishers.
Oh,
Publishers.
I'm just gonna go ahead and
wow.
grab a drink while you guys do this. I'll be back.
Let's go.
All right. I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Nope, we'll skip that one. This one makes dice thrown.
Roxley.
Yep. This one is not this 100 years, but a future 100 years.
Oh, 25th century.
Yep. Dwayne, you love this company for all of their Cthulhu stuff.
That would be Fantasy Flight.
Yep. This is the company that makes Wingspan, Scythe, Viticulture.
Oh, no. Stonemeyer?
Yep. This company does a great job of bringing back games that were popular in the 80s.
That is not Reclamation Games.
Yep,
Restoration Games.
Yes, very good. If one wanted to put all of their valuables into a castle, you would call that a...
Horde.
Nope, the castle would be known as
Keep.
The castle itself would be not a weak place, but a
Stronghold.
Yep. There's a country in Eastern Europe. I think it was part of the Russian bloc at one point, but now it's making fun stuff.
Ukraine.
No, it's like not Slovakia. It's a
Slovak Games.
yeah, no. We'll come back to that one. This one made Castles of Burgundy originally.
Ravensburger.
Ravensburger.
Yeah. I don't know if this abbreviation stands for 4 words or if it's just like saying, join us.
Come on.
Yeah. 2 different types of birds. One is real, one is fictional.
Dodo? No,
Nope.
that's
One is the American symbol,
Eagle.
and the other one is a fictional bird.
Eagle Dodo Games.
Nope.
No, I
No.
guess they're not fictional. They just don't
it's-
they're real. They're very
Eagle
real,
Big
just
Bird
like-
No,
Games.
we'll come back to that.
Okay.
One of the classic American game companies.
Parker Brothers.
Yep. This is a company, I think they're Spanish. They make White Castle and Red Cathedral.
Dever.
Yep. This one makes Ticket to Ride and many other games. One of my favorite companies.
Days.
Days of Wonder.
Yep.
Thank you.
This is a bird that would be crimson in color.
Red Robin.
Red.
No, not,
Red Cardinal.
Nope. It's Nevermore.
Red
Raven.
Raven.
Yep. This company is local to Nashville.
Van Ryder.
Four.
Yep.
Oh,
We'll come back to that one. We've referenced this company a lot in our episodes. They're one guy.
Garfield Games.
Yep. Not a warlock or a mage or a wizard, but a
Sorcerer.
nope. The other one, the nature one,
Oh, Druid.
and where they live.
Druid Forest Games.
Nope. Bigger place, not a village, even bigger.
Druid
Castle.
City
Yes,
Games?
very good.
Oh.
This company is also based in Nashville. They make pretty games.
Is this the Ivy?
Moonrakers. Ivy, yeah.
Ivy
Ivy
Studios?
Studios.
When
Studio.
Thor casts this, it does
Thunder?
a good job.
Lightning?
You've got it sitting right over there. That company right over there.
HG Games.
Nope. Look on your table.
Yeah.
It's the one that's sitting there with the dice tower on it.
With the
Thunderworks.
role play.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, hey, how about that?
This company makes Root.
Nope.
Nope. Okay. This company makes Roll Them Bones or whatever that game
Too
is.
Many
or-
Bones?
Too Many Bones?
Yes. They use.
Oh, Chip Theory
yes,
Games.
yes. We're not quite at level 100 yet.
99.
Yep. There you go. The other classic American company, not Parker Brothers, but
Hasbro.
nope.
Match?
Oh.
No.
Uncle.
Milton Bradley.
Yep. When you're playing a game, you have one of these horizontally and you roll these.
Dice tray.
You have one of these horizontally and you roll
Dice
these.
table.
You have one of these horizontally
Mm-hmm.
when you're playing a game,
A table.
Board.
and you roll these.
Dice.
Yes, there you go.
Board and dice.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Back to the Eastern European company. They make Kutnahora. They make Dungeon Pets. They made Code Names, I believe.
Oh.
They're known by 3 letters, but the first
Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Lost Ruins of Arnak is another one. They are Slovakian.
JK is like, I'm not JK. Dwayne is
Are
like
the
hating
3
himself
letters
right
an
now.
acronym?
Yeah,
No.
no.
James says yes.
Yeah, he says yeah. Well, they are for the name of the company. Yeah.
I am blanking
Oh,
so
we'll come
hard
back to
on
that one.
this.
Okay, going back to the American bird,
The American fictional bird.
Yes.
Eagle.
and this one is a fictional bird. It's got the head of a bird and the body
Griffin.
of a
Eagle Griffin
Thank
Games.
Thank you.
Rococo.
I'm not sure if this is a game company name or a time zone. It's
Oh, GMT.
yep. There you go. Okay, the company that makes Root. They also make German Hosen.
Go on.
Leader.
Yep, that is Leader Games.
I see what you did.
We're sitting one on now. The Eastern European one. It's the letter between B and D.
C.
The letter between F and H.
CGD game?
The letter between D and F.
CG.
Yay!
What does it stand for?
CGE.
What does it stand for?
Extra points. What does it stand for?
Computer Games Edition.
Nope.
Check games.
Yes.
Edition?
and
Yes.
Way to go,
Wow.
everybody.
That was one of the most challenging games we've had. That was a lot of fun.
I figured out the timing. I started keeping track of scores so we don't have to keep asking for you to count your cards. So
Oh, nice.
JK ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Points don't matter. Everybody wins.
Yay.
Well, they're turning off the lights and putting up the chairs. I guess it's about time for us to head out.
Guys, I've had fun. This put me in a good mood today.
Good.
I want to first thank our sponsor for today, Orbitz. Orbitz, available in any grocery store from the clearly Canadian people. Orbitz, this drink has balls. Thank you for listening to the Gleeful Meeple podcast. You can find us via email at pod@gleefulmeeple or on Instagram at Gleeful Meeple podcast. Something or other. What is it, Emily?
Pod at gleefulmeeple.com.
Yeah, that thing.
And then Gleeful Meeple Pod is our Instagram handle.
Hey, you'll be listening to this in early June. We have plenty of events. Come find us. We are going to be at High Wire on the first Monday of June, as well as
First Tuesday
of June, as well as a later Friday in the month. I believe we're going to add another event at High Wire, which
I
we're really
love
excited about.
Highwire.
We are also going to be at Tailgate in West Nashville on the 11th and the 25th. We will be at Fat Bottom on the 17th, Homegrown on the 19th, and finishing up the month at Black Abbey on the 27th.
Come see us in June. Come say hi.
Yay!
Yeah, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.